What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. It's Justin here again. Today we're going to be doing a review of the HGAC Leo. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump into the review. The first thing I want to do is talk about just the general look of the mobile suit. I think this is probably the best recreation of this mobile suit, especially in this scale. There's only, to my knowledge, the only other existing model kit of the Leo in this scale is it's like an old no grade in 1144. The proportions are really nice. There's a lot of little detail that is sculpted in to a lot of the panels. The only real detail that I've seen that's missing is any kind of dimples and stuff that you normally see on the Tallgeese shield. I think they're little rockets or something like that. They're not on the shield here, but everything else is pretty faithfully recreated, and it's really nice to look at, really easy to pose and assemble, as we'll see soon. Before we jump into the review, let's go ahead and do some size comparisons. So the first thing I want to compare this to is your standard size mobile suit. This is the high grade RX 78. This is the original high grade, so way back in the day. It's an older suit. Something a little newer, we've got the Revive gun cannon. Again, same type of scale. These two are your standard, whereas the wingsuits tend to be a little bit on the smaller side. Next, about your average sized SD kit is about half the size of this thing. And then I consider this to be a larger scale design, so how it stacks up to something like the real grade 00 Gundam. If I can get it to stand up, there we go. You can see that it's quite a bit smaller. Then we'll even rearrange this just so you can see a better representation of that. So there's size comparisons for you, just so you can get an idea for how big this thing is. It fits really nicely in the hand. It looks great. So let's go ahead and start talking about articulation. So the head is on a little bit of a ball joint. I'm actually going to take it off just so I can show you. It's a ball joint. You can put it on here a little bit, and you get a little bit of turn, a little bit of up and down, but if you push it down and seat it, it doesn't really move at all. Shoulder pads move independently on a hinge. Arm moves up 90 degrees. And there's also a ball joint in there to help you get a little bit of extra movement. Full 360 at the shoulder, full 360 under the shoulder. The arm and elbow is on, I don't think it's a double joint. No, it's a single joint. You get a little bit more than 90 degrees. It's somewhere between 90 and 180. Not terrible. It does what it needs to. Full 360 at the wrist. Full 360 at the waist. Legs move out about that far, forward about that far, and backward is stopped by the booster in the back. The waist can move up and down a pretty good bit. There's a double hinge in there. It kind of rocks back farther than it rocks forward, but it works both ways. The knee is on a double hinge, so you get just under 180 degrees. With a nice armor split on the knee. Very awesome looking. The ankles can full 360. You have to be careful with the ankle armor. It sits on there quite snugly, but it does again pop off. You can do relatively, maybe not. So if you unseat the ankles, you can get a decent split, nothing too crazy. Again, ankles forward and back on a double joint. Bending them back will allow the armor to flex a little bit as well. And that's it for articulation. For accessories, you get a shield and a gun. These are pretty faithfully recreated. The shield, however, you have to pop this off in order to mount it to the shoulder. So you just unclip one, clip in the other. If I can get it in there. There we go. And that fits just like that. Not my favorite mounting mechanism, but I suppose it works. The gun just slots into either hand. It looks pretty good. There's a handle on the top, so if you want to pop this wrist off, you can, or the back plate off, you can hold it in both hands. You can also do the same for the shield if you pop this ball joint off and hold it in this arm. It doesn't mount to the arm, so I might actually cut this apart and try and like make a mount for the arm instead of having it mount to the shoulder. But that's pretty much it as far as your general accessories go. As you may be able to tell, I did not put the clear yellow piece into the visor. I wanted to be able to paint this before I put this in. The last accessory you have is there's two detachable beam sabers here on the shield. If you can get your hands in there, you can pop that out. Pop your beam saber blade in, and that fits pretty snugly in the hand, and you can do a variety of action poses with it. So, really neat kit. I'm pretty happy with it so far. I'm really looking forward to painting it. I think a little bit of paint is going to make this thing go a long way. Assembly was incredibly straightforward. It was a really fun build, despite how simple it was. A lot of the engineering. This is probably what I'm going to consider my favorite entry-level kit, especially compared to what else has come out this year. I would usually recommend any new builder pick up a Revive kit, but if you've never built a model before, this really takes all the guesswork out of everything. It's incredibly cheap. It's very customizable. There's a lot of little options here. I think the biggest struggling point is aligning these little tabs up, so you can pull these little tabs out for, I believe, probably the flight type. They pop out, and the first one that I put in was a little bit difficult to line up and get into place, but once it went in just fine. And I think if that is the hardest part of this model, you've got a winner on your hands. So with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap this review up. Go ahead and stay tuned for a gallery of photos. I'm going to just stick some pictures at the end just so we can show off what the model kit looks like under more confined lighting and show it off properly. We're going to shout out some patrons throughout the back of that. And if you guys are interested in picking this kit up, please feel free to do so at my sponsor. I will put a link down below to a coupon code for Mechawarehouse where you can save 10% off your order using that. So if you guys are interested in supporting the channel, please check out the description down below. There are a wealth of links down there to social media pages and other things that you can use to support this channel. With that, I thank you guys, and I'll see you with the next video. Later.